She needs 20 seconds.
I'm good.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Osoyoos Town Council, Monday, June the 1st, 2015 at 2:04 in Council Chambers. So first we have the adoption of minutes. Council of the Committee of the Whole meeting, minutes on May 19th, 2015, and regular open minutes of May 19th for adoption, and they will be adopted by consensus. Next is business arising from prior minutes, and we have two motions to read here. And so first is a janitorial contract motion. The second business, it would be the landfill operation and maintenance contract motion, and the third would be a report on water restrictions from CAO Report. So I will read the janitorial contract. Motion IC 7815, moved by Councillor King and seconded by Councillor Campol, and resolved that Evergreen Building Maintenance Inc. be awarded the janitorial contract for the Town Hall, Fire Hall, Planning and Development Services, Destination Osoyoos, and Public Works buildings at a cost of $9,950 per year, with a $25 per hour fee for emergency cleanings, and that the signatories for the town be authorized to sign the contract, and that the optional cleanings of floors, carpets, and windows be awarded separately via quote system, and further that this resolution be made public at the regular open meeting of June the 1st, 2015, and that was carried. The second motion was the motion IC 79-15, moved by Councillor Rhodes and seconded by Councillor Campol, and resolved that Council approves extending the Osoyoos sanitary landfill operation and maintenance contract with B&B Wood Grinding Inc. to December 31st, 2020 under the same terms and conditions with an annual CPI adjustment, and that was carried. And motion IC 80-15, moved Councillor Campol and seconded Councillor King, and resolved that Council approves releasing motion IC 79-15 to the regular open meeting of June 1st, 2015, and that was also carried. So, Mr. Romanko.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Out of this morning's discussions in the Committee of the Whole meeting, bringing forth as directed my report on water restrictions. I'll just repeat the report from this morning's meeting. Attached, please find an email from the BC River Forecast Center that provides current snowpack and river flow conditions, and those conditions are lower than normal snowpacks in all regions. Warm weather has created quick thaw that results in high stream flows for this period of time. Potential results are flooding in some areas, and the second is early low flow river conditions in summer unless high rainy periods occur. In another attached email from the Okanagan Basin Water Board, several items are brought forward. One, that the Osoyoos water supply is lake level influenced and level is controlled by the dam in the United States. Second, no water shortages at this time. Third, late in the summer there may be water shortages. Four, BC is gearing up a drought team. And five, that BC Hydro notes this to be the fourth lowest water year on record. In terms of overview, the attached Water Conservation and Stage Restrictions Bylaw 1273 provides for regular watering watering conservation measures. These actions include: Level 1, normal watering procedures promote water conservation through direction of hours of watering based on the nature of the system. Level 2 is alternate watering days. Level 3 is twice a week watering. Level 4, watering once a week. Level 5, no lawn watering. And Level 6, no outdoor watering. This bylaw is enforced by general community patrol basis and on complaint. Last year, 12 regulation packages were handed out to people improperly using water. Additional information notices of water regulations are placed in newspapers. The attached emails provide information that leads one to consider that this may be an exceedingly dry year. Therefore, proactive water conservation measures may be considered for implementation. Provided below is the direction to implement these conservation measures. First, in terms of determining restrictions, the Council will determine the level of restriction based on reservoir capacity, stream flow, or precipitation. 3. Notice. In the notice area, the CAO must give or cause notice to be given to persons within the town of the applicable stage and the effective dates if available. Next, the notice under subsection 8 must be given at least once before the commencement of the applicable stage and within reasonable time after the determination of the CAO to alter the stage status. And last, the notice under subsection 8 must be published on the town's website and broadcast from a radio station, and may also be published by any other means as determined by the CAO. So the options before Council are to continue with the current watering practices with a request for public and bylaw to be more proactive with monitoring illegal water practices. Additional media efforts can be made to provide more education on this matter. Second, Council provides direction at a regular Council meeting to implement alternate day watering immediately within the provisions of the bylaw. And third, administration is directed to prepare the public for future alternate day watering through increased education or through the media.
Thank you very much. This was discussed at our Committee of the Whole meeting this morning, and we felt it was appropriate to bring it to our meeting this afternoon. Councillor Rhodes, would you like? Yes, please do.
Thank you, Mayor McCardoff. And as stated by the Mayor, we did have quite a bit of discussion at our meeting this morning. And just last few hours since that meeting, I know we came out of that meeting with a little bit of an idea where we're going to go. But I'd like to offer a resolution based on the stage 2, which is twice a week watering, rather than the previous one of the alternate days, and that would be my motion.
So looking at the front, it would be on the overview, it would be number 3 because there's 6 different.
Yes, that's right.
So twice a week watering.
I'll second.
Councillor King seconded. Any discussion? Councillor.
Just a question regarding twice a week. The reason that I spoke to the alternate days is because that goes with the numbering system of the houses. Twice a week can mean that they'll water Friday and Saturday, or they'll water Monday or Wednesday. And who's going to monitor this?
I think there is something set up. Councillor Rhodes.
Yeah, just reviewing the criteria for that. There are a number of other restrictions that come along with that, but as far as the alternate days go, it's quite clearly defined on the last number of your address, and you would do it Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday, I think, is what it is.
Saturday and Tuesday and Sunday and Wednesday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the criteria.
That's under the watering bylaw?
Yes. Yes.
Which you have a copy up here.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Just speaking in favor of the motion, I think it's important for us to understand the dynamics of a drought situation. And some of the other information that came to us is that the state of Washington has declared a drought emergency. The province of British Columbia is also getting geared up for their drought response team. And I have a belief that you know, when you look at our water supply and our consumption levels in our community, it's never been all that good. And I think when you factor in solid statistics that lead us to believe that we're heading towards an even more serious drought situation, that it's only good business for us to put this kind of a restriction on. The reason why I kind of went from the stage that we talked about earlier to the twice a week was because at the end of the day, when it comes to your plantings like your grass, your flowers, and all of the stuff that you have in your garden, it's not going to make any difference whether you water 3 times a week or twice a week, but it will make an enormous difference to water conservation in our community. And you know, it's so easy to do. So many people can just go out and retime their various timers. If you don't have that kind of a system, just follow the restrictions that it is, water on those days. And you know, everything will be fine with all your plantings and that kind of thing. But such a very, very positive thing to water conservation in our community.
Thank you. Councillor Youngberg, are you going to talk about the water?
Yes.
Water? Yeah, okay, good.
Make Water Work.
Make Water Work.
Make Water Work program is on your local television, and you can access Make Water Work by going on the internet and just entering Make Water Work, and it will redefine some of the concerns that Councillor Rhodes has. And also, one other request is that I think we have to circulate, as we mentioned this morning, communication and knowledge is so important to the residents of Osoyoos, and I think this is a real important thing to get out to all the residents so they understand the importance of selecting the 2 watering dates per week.
Thank you, and I think we appreciate it being in the media, and so that people can read that. And if they don't listen to this broadcast, we hope they do. But if they don't, that they will read it in the newspaper, Osoyoos Daily News, Oliver Daily News, all of those things that people like. So we thank you very much for doing that, Councillor Campol.
Just a comment. I think anytime we're in a position where we have an opportunity to be proactive with a situation rather than have to go into emergency reactive mode, I think it's worthwhile to take full advantage of those opportunities.
Thank you. And while we can look out the window and see that the lake has plenty of water in it, that can change drastically if we don't have any rain. Now, that being said, what we're doing a rain dance for the month of June, because we often get rain, and sometimes a little worse than that, hail as well. We don't necessarily want that part, but we understand that there's going to be some rain tomorrow, and so we are going to, at this point, I believe what we can always do, Mr. Romanko, is change this and take off the watering restrictions at some time in the future. Or does it necessarily go until the end of October, September?
No, this is a resolution of council to enact stage 2, and so you can change it by resolution at any particular point in time.
So we could look at that. For those people who are like to watch things on TV, on 60 Minutes last night, there was an interesting talk about water. And in, I think it would be the southern states, they were having to drill wells down very, very deep, like 20, 30 feet deeper than they had before, in order to access water from the aquifers. And it's fairly difficult to replace that water. The other thing, and we suggested it to Mr. Doucette, who was here, that water from sewers can be turned into drinking water in 45 minutes. And I'm not sure that that was high on his list of things to do, but it would take something, a very sophisticated system, but it is being looked at in many places in the world, because this is a drastic problem that we're all going to have to deal with. So is there anyone else that would like to speak on this? So could you read the motion? Sorry, Mr. Romanko.
Maybe it might be to an advantage just to summarize what the stage is, so that as a part of the education process, so I can just run through.
Please do. Yeah.
Through the twice a week watering portions of the bylaw. So the days of watering would be that the sprinkling is only permitted at residential, commercial, or other non-agricultural properties as follows. Even numbered addresses, watering is only permitted on Saturday and Tuesdays. and odd number addresses, watering is only permitted on Sundays and Wednesdays. And the same times and periods still exist for when people can water. In terms of automatic controlled underground sprinkler systems, residential or commercial, watering only between midnight and 6 a.m. For manual controlled sprinklers, they may operate only between 6 a.m. and 11 a.m. or 6 p.m. and midnight. No use of water hoses is permitted for the purposes of washing boats or motor vehicles. No person shall use water to wash sidewalks, driveways, parking lots, exterior building surfaces, except if necessary for applying a product such as paint, preservative, stucco, preparing a surface prior to paving or repointing bricks, or if required by law with health or safety regulations. Notwithstanding the above, the following are exempt from Stage 2 restrictions. 1, watering of public sports fields, turf farms, or anything that would result in permanent loss of plant material. Tee-off areas and putting greens and golf courses, naturally we don't have to worry about that because we're all on a reclaimed water system here for the golf course. The watering of flowers and vegetable gardens, decorative planters, shrubs and trees using micro-irrigation, drip irrigation, or hose with an automatic shut-off valve. Commercial car washes, so long as each vehicle wash does not exceed 57 liters. I don't know how we're going to determine how many liters of it goes into the car wash, depending on how big the vehicle is, I guess. And as a further exemption of the Stage 2 restrictions, owners or occupiers of property who, by reason of physical or mental incapacity, are unable to water their property within the restricted days and times, may water their property on any 2 days of the week for a maximum of 9 hours per day.
Thank you very much. Yes, that is available, I would think, on our website, our town website. It would be put on there with that.
Well, we'll have to, council's provided the direction. I've got to take a look. Should council provide the direction through motion, I will then have to take a look at an implementation strategy. I don't foresee this occurring for at least probably 2 weeks,
yes,
given the fact we have to give public notice, and we would do notice in the paper.
Yes.
You know, maybe a week and a half, something like that.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, anything else? So we have a motion on the table. Ms. Scott, could you read that to us, please?
Yes, moved by Councillor Rhodes and seconded by Councillor King, and resolved that Council approves enacting Stage 2 twice-a-week watering as provided in the Water Conservation and Staged Restrictions Bylaw number 1273.
Thank you very much. All in favor? Thank you. That was unanimous. So we have introduction of late items. No, there isn't anything more. No delegations today. No water matters today. Well, that's a moot point. Seems we've dealt with that. No correspondence. And so we will go down to bylaws. And this would be the Osoyoos tax rates amendment bylaw. Is that Mr. Zackel?
Yes, thank you, Mayor McCordoff. So before Council is the 2015 Osoyoos tax rates amendment bylaw 1312.01. Background is to update the tax rates bylaw for 2015 with the due date being July 2nd. The 2015 Osoyoos tax rates bylaw was adopted May 4th, 2015. A clerical error was made on this bylaw with respect to the 911, pardon my language, 911 description of tax calculation. This tax rate is calculated on the general assessment base, not the hospital assessment base that was on bylaw 1312. Bylaw amendment 1312.01 corrects this clerical error. Once the amended bylaw is adopted, it needs to be forwarded to the province. Implications under community: continued operation and enhancement of the municipality. Organizationally, no changes. Budget, no changes. Significant dates: tax rates amendment bylaw needs to be sent to the province once adopted by council. Sustainability, nothing to report. So the option before council is to give first three readings to 2015 Osoyoos Tax Rates Amendment Bylaw 1312.01, 2015.
Thank you very much. Councillor Campol?
I think this is all fairly straightforward. I'll make a motion to give the first three readings to the 2015 Osoyoos Tax Rate Amendment Bylaw 1312.01, 2015.
Councillor Rhodes is seconding the motion. I have to look to the right. See, they accuse me of looking to the left all the time. All right. Anybody want to speak to that? It's fairly straightforward. All in favor? Thank you. That's carried. Next is the licensing and control of dogs. Ms. Van Vienen.
Thank you. Licensing and control of dogs bylaw number 1036.05 1997 or 1997 was adopted on June 16, 1997. There have been 4 amendments to date. Council has placed in the business plan the development of a new animal control bylaw. This is still being developed. However, in the meantime, there is a need to make immediate changes to the current bylaw. The proposed amendment will clarify the need for people to have their dogs on leashes at all times in the parks. The current bylaw reads that they must have them on a leash or under the care and control of the owner. Due to several incidents whereby the dog got away from the owner and had no leash, this provision is being changed to require leashes at all times. The current bylaw also allows for dogs in Cottonwood Park. The signage at Cottonwood Beach indicates that no dogs are allowed on the beach, and the bylaw should also reflect this. Therefore, the bylaw is being amended to state no dogs are allowed on Cottonwood Beach. However, they will still be allowed in the park area on leashes. So we're just delineating the two, beach versus park. The final changes in the wording of no dogs allowed in swimming areas. There are some designated dog swim areas that coincide with other swimming areas, so the wording in the bylaw is being amended to read, other than in designated swimming areas, a dog owner shall not permit, suffer, or allow a dog in any swimming area or school grounds. Implications for the community: improved enforcement of the dogs in parks and swim areas. Organizationally, administration of the bylaw. There's no budget implications, significant dates. Sustainability, ensuring continued enjoyment of the parks and swim areas by the general public. Options: that licensing of control of dog bylaw number 1036.05 2015 be read a first, second, and third time, or that it be returned back to staff for further amendment, or that it be abandoned. And staff is recommending option 1, the clarification of the need for leashes at all times and the clarification of the difference between Cottonwood Park and Cottonwood Beach will assist in enforcement.
Thank you very much. Yes, Councillor Youngberg.
Since I own a dog and have to get used to using the leash, I will like to make the motion that licensing and control of dogs bylaw number 103605 215 be read first, second, and third time.
Thank you. Councillor King, thank you. Is there anyone else would like to speak to this? I think it's probably become necessary because there are so many people who own dogs now, small ones and bigger ones, and we've had several people email us and write us and tell us about concerns that they have. I'd like to also point out that that some people are concerned about dog owners not picking up after their dogs, and we do have signs, we do have doggy bags. We've tried to do our bit with that, so we need people to be responsible if they're dog owners, and this is just one more way. Anything else? All in favor of the new bylaw? Thank you, that's carried. And next we have the Osoyoos Museum Society Board Liaison, and Mr. Romanko.
Thank you, Mayor. Attached to these, find a letter from the Osoyoos Museum Society requesting that the town provide a board liaison to function as a communication link between the town council and the Osoyoos Museum Society. Council has other situations where members of council act as non-voting members of a non-profit society that is providing community service or under contract to provide service. The town has received a legal opinion that council members are in a conflict of interest to function as full voting members of the board that is being provided town funds. This request by the Osoyoos Museum Society is for a liaison person and not a board member. In terms of implications, community will benefit from the Osoyoos Museum Society moving into their facility and providing expanded services. Organizationally, this request is best filled by a member of council. No budget implications. Significant dates, no specific date has been provided, but as soon as possible is probably the wish of the society. Options, council identifies a member of council to act as a communication link between council and the Osoyoos Museum Society. 2, council directs the CAO to identify a staff liaison that will function as the communication liaison between the Osoyoos Museum Society and the town. And 3, council directs the CAO to inform the Osoyoos Museum Society that no formal liaison is needed between the Osoyoos Museum Society and council. Recommendation, the CAO recommends option number 1. A key governance function of council members is to link with clubs and organizations that provide benefit to the community. In this situation, the Osoyoos Museum Society is in the process of renovating a facility that has been purchased by the regional district and town taxpayers. Having a formal liaison will assist with communications of progress and issues. I don't recommend that the function of this liaison include bringing forward any of the Osoyoos Museum Society's formal requests for service or funding. These types of requests need to remain the responsibility of the society member actively involved in the operations of the current facility and development of the new facility. Council liaison could provide council with ongoing information on the progress of the facility development project.
Thank you very much. Councillor Campol.
I'd like to make a motion that Councillor Rhodes act as the communications link between council and the Museum Society.
Do we have a seconder for that? Thank you. Councillor Youngberg. Councillor Rhodes, I think, are you in agreement with that?
Yes, I am.
Good. I think Councillor Rhodes was at one of the other meetings that down at the museum, and I think he has a good background on this, and we're happy to have that. So all in favor of that option? Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Hassan. Thank you, Councillor Rhodes. Next is the Canada 150 Infrastructure Program. Is that Mr. Romanko?
Thank you, Mayor. Attached, please find an information package on the Canada 150 Infrastructure Program that was announced, actually it was the week before last. Communities have an opportunity to receive 50% funding to renovate an existing culture or recreation facility. The goal is to have a showpiece project that can be clearly identified as a long-term value-added improvement that was attributable to Canada's 150th birthday celebration. Administration has reviewed the grant program and has generated the following list of priority projects for Council's consideration. Of major consideration is the need to provide a 50% match to the project grant. 5 projects have been identified by the administration. First is the expansion of the Sun Bowl Arena dressing rooms. Second, paving of the canal trail and installation of environmental and historical signage, information signage. 3, playground development at Kinsman Park. 4, patio development at Sonora Center. And 5, retrofit of the Desert Park building. Council may have additional projects that are seen as community priority projects. Only the Canal Trail project has a budgeted source of matching funds that are identified in resort municipality funding at $117,000. Administration viewed the arena renovation as the top need in the community, and a best guess cost would be $350,000 to $400,000. At the time of writing this report, research was being completed on recent dressing room additions in Oliver and Midway to provide a ballpark figure. Consideration could be made to request a Crass Hockeyville funding as part of the project and a Regional District Area A contribution. Costing has been done on the trail enhancements and is attached. We have had some costing on playground equipment, and this information is easily made available. This can be planned to be a $50,000 project. Costing at the patio was $32,000. Desert Park renovations has no specific design or project in mind. In terms of implications, this is a limited opportunity for the community to receive grant funding to assist with a major capital project that will celebrate Canada's 150th birthday for an extended period of time. Organizationally, the grant application will have to be completed within the time frames. Budget, project will have to be budgeted from 2015 surplus and worked into 2016 and 2017 budgets. Significant dates: June 17th is the grant intake deadline, and there's also a deadline for when the project has to be finished, and that is March 31st of 2018. Options. Option number 1 is presented by the administration. Council identifies a priority community project and directs staff to submit a grant application to Canada 150 Infrastructure Program prior to June 17th, 2015. 2, Council directs the administration to forego the opportunity to submit an application to Canada 150 Infrastructure Program. 3, Council requests additional information and identifies a special meeting date prior to June 17th to provide the administration with an additional direction. And the administration recommends option 1 with the application consisting of a council-approved project.
Thank you very much. This is, I'm sure everybody in the country's got one of these, and they'll all be applying for them, eh? And why turn down any kind of grant opportunity? So, I had thought of one other, and I don't know whether it's even possible, the pier at Gyro. Or is that not a good one because it may not be finished in time? Because we haven't even got the...
Well, I think there's 2 barriers to that one. One,
Yes.
there's no existing structure. And the second is that I don't know that we would have the matching funds in place to match that particular project.
To go that good. Yeah, I just wrote it down as a possibility. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McCardoff. I'm kind of leaning towards supporting the trail part of it, but I'm just wondering what your opinion is on, so we have $117,000 budgeted towards that. What is a realistic, or I guess what is your gut feeling that we would be successful at that? I just always hate to put so much time and effort and staff time towards something that, that's going to, kind of doomed for failure.
Well, we've done a trail application before, so we've done a lot of the some of the soft writing already. We have a clear estimate here of some amount. So, nothing ventured, nothing gained, and it's so we're prepared to make the application, whichever project it is, because we would like to see these facilities enhanced, or an opportunity to get additional funding into the community. We would, if it was going to be the trail, the question would be, because we have in the package, we've had realistically that it's been brought into a number of different phases, and it's a matter of almost picking the right number, because my understanding of reading additional information from the package is they're going to fund a number of projects up to $250,000, and then they're going to save the same amount of money to fund projects over $250,000. And my sense is a lot of the projects will be under that $250,000 grant application mark because of the amount of match that's needed. So, but nothing ventured, nothing gained.
Go ahead.
Just continuing on with that, the report that we have from True is, I know there's some other backup documents, but it would be possible for us to look at maybe reducing the amount of trail lighting or a certain portion of it to bring this in line with the amount that we have budgeted. And, I kind of really like that, because it seems like it's kind of ready for everything. We've, done all of the the background work, like you say. So I'd like to offer a motion based on supporting that. I don't know, I think it should be a matching the 117 and 117. That's what I'm kind of feeling right now. I don't know exactly how you want to word the resolution, but
okay.
Or pardon me, how you would like me to word the resolution.
If we,
2/3 of the cost of that trail paving system was I can't seem to find it here, but I think it was 2/3 of it was lighting up. 1/3 is a trail paving, and 2/3 is the lighting. So if we reduce the lighting, or for maybe a portion of it, we certainly would bring that in line with.
I think the way would be to word the motion that that administration apply for a grant to a maximum project total of $250,000, and for the improvements to the canal trail, and then we can take a look at working what that would give us. I would suggest that if we are going to pave that trail from 62nd, 100 from that corner to the highway, that we at least put the subsurface work in for the power in the future, because that's always been our goal. Now, whether we do that as a budgeted item for next year, and then take a look at what we actually use the grant funds for.
So there's 33 bases and 33 standards that have been budgeted in here. So it would be possible, if we couldn't afford that, to maybe cut it down a little bit, either put in the bases and not put in all the standards at this point. Is that what you mean?
Well, what I'm suggesting is that when we take a look at lighting, we've got precast concrete bases. I think we have to put those in, and we have to put in the duct for 42 and the wiring. So of that, it's 85,000 would go to support the wiring, and we would hold back on the light standards until a future budgeting year.
I like the wording that you gave, and that would be the basis of my resolution.
Okay.
Is there somebody who would like to second that resolution? Councillor Youngberg. And anyone else like to speak to it before we take a vote? Yeah, I think that probably makes sense. We do have a trails, upgrading that we're looking at, so this kind of fits in with it. Yeah. So,
I guess also my vision for that particular project is one that we've shared before. Given that this is a 150th birthday, I think we'd do well to put up some historical signage, some environmental type of signage as well, and that'll just build to the capacity and the scope of the grant.
And this is also Accessibility Week, and I'm sure that is works in with that.
We'll touch all those points.
Good. Okay, so all in favor of the motion? Thank you. That's carried. Where are we? Now you just have to do the work of getting the report ready, right? Submitting the grant. Okay, do we have any notices of motion? No. Next then is the cash requirements, and we have got it in two places here. So this is background is to report on expendables from accounts payable for council approval and payroll information for council to receive. General and Sun Bowl Arena cash requirements and net payroll accounts to June 1st, representing balances in the following funds: in the amount of general cash requirements of $85,149.03, and Sun Bowl cash requirements at $1,205.10, and those will be adopted by consensus, and net payroll accounts of $68,936.30, and that will be received for information. Thank you. And there is not a building report and no committee. I don't see a committee report here. Does anybody have a committee report? No. Okay. So CAO report.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. Just a few of the activities that our staff have been involved in the last couple of weeks. Starting in the community services area, our Osprey cam is up and running, and as of noon today, we had over 17,500 views of that particular item, and so that's people coming to our website and visiting our website. and 3 eggs, and I guess a 40-day incubation period, so things are going to be pretty quiet there for at least a couple more weeks. Sun Bowl Arena, the compressors are rebuilt. They've ordered a new ammonia sensor, cleaned the back of the ice surface boards and bleachers, and washed and greased the condenser. So they've been lining the fields at the Desert Park Mondays and Fridays, and completed the marina cleaning. The bus has also been serviced and inspected. Staff ordered their marina access ramp to help improve wheelchair accessibility. This was part of the capital improvement for this year, and it'll be installed in about 3 weeks. That's on the main entrance into the slips area on the ramp, the dock that floats up and down. We needed a ramp on there. Staff has ordered the directional signage for the splash park through transportation, and I don't know if we got 4 or 6 signs, but they will be directions off of 89th and also Kingfisher. Final updates have been completed on our trails map, and the mosquito anti-loitering devices have been ordered. So a couple of weeks for delivery before those come. Corporate services, they've been arranged for the mail out of the 2014 annual report, and also for the Osoyoos Times for circulation. Shortlisted and interviewed for the community services students for the summer program. Shortlisted for the community services program supervisor. RFP completed for the janitorial contract. Several complaints dealt with by the director, including unsightly properties, transients trespassing on private property, and encroachment onto public property. In terms of finance, the property tax bills have gone out and the taxes are rolling in. In terms of planning and development, the director chaired a meeting of our Citizens Advisory Design Panel to review the fire hall exterior building and landscaping plans. Director has been receiving increased numbers of inquiries about land development opportunities in the town, and the senior planner position has gone to for advertising. Public Works completed the parking pad at the splash park, so now we have a very formal parking area in there. Placed self-watering planters on Main Street, and also dues shortly to install bike rack and cigarette butt disposals on Main Street as well. In terms of myself, I've been researching the Canada 150 grant program, met with Fortis's new community representative, Shelley Thompson, and went over some of the things that Fortis can do for us. Updated the business plan priority activities. We held a staff luncheon, staff function, which was a recognition lunch and awards. We had a union management meeting, and I'll be attending the Resort Municipality Annual Administrators Meeting. Just in terms of that, I just got an email today that the Resort Municipality function has been transferred out of the small jobs area into tourism, into the tourism department, which I think has more of an attachment to that. And also, I've been organizing the June 8th Resort Municipality Strategy Session, and everybody's responded positively to attend to that. Good. That's all I have to report.
Thank you very much. Could we have a motion, please, to accept the report? Thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Rhodes. All in favor? Thank you. And we'll go on to councillor reports, and Councillor King is first.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I just have to mention that I attended the AGM of Destination Osoyoos last week, and it's great to hear that they've created a whole, or not a whole new board, but new board with a lot of new energy. They passed a new budget, and they have a strategic plan in place, and a couple of things I think the town should be looking forward to. They're talking about getting involved with maybe the beautification of downtown and look at affordable housing. There's 2 of their initiatives they're going to look at, so that becomes very exciting. Also attended the staff recognition just this past week. And do you see some of the staff that's been in this town for 25, 30 weeks? Just shows what a commitment to this town, and really want to thank all the staff here for the great work they actually do. And just to make a little comment, hope to see you all this Saturday at Cactus Jalopies down at Gyro Park, and the day kicks off at 8 o'clock with a pancake breakfast and a lot of great cars to see.
Thank you very much. Councillor Youngberg.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. It's been a really busy week, 10 days for me. as I'm sure it has been for everybody. We had a very interesting joint meeting with the Oliver Council at Walnut Beach, and really concentrated on a few things that I think could be common ground projects that we might be involved in. It was a very interesting meeting. The land development webinar that I attended at Council Chambers was interesting and give us a couple of good ideas. The Child and Youth Committee that meets every 3 to 4 months was very interesting. We have 13 organizations sitting at the table, all working together for the betterment of the child and youth concerns in the South Okanagan. And two of the areas that I was very impressed with was Boys and Girls Club and United Way. Have funding for us, and we're trying to create an area where the 10 to 16-year-olds can meet under the direction of the Boys and Girls Club in Osoyoos. We have a leader, and that's one of the areas that I'd like to see accomplished, and hopefully we'll be able to help in that area. The Library Book Club meeting was my first. 4 book clubs in Osoyoos, and they read books and over and talk about the books that are of great interest to them, and that was a very big learning experience for me. As since my family, we have all we do audio reading, and my sister has an e-reader, so of course I got educated in that area. And our Derby Night fundraiser on Saturday was absolutely excellent. It was sold out. We raised good money for Desert Park. And thank you everybody for attending. It was fun. I had a lot of good experiences, and the horses, JoJo's won the first race, and Fairway Golf Cars won the second race, so it was really a fun evening. The advisory planning board, we had a meeting regarding the fire hall, and that's just looking fabulous, and I think everybody's come together with some really good ideas, and it looks like planning has got to move forward with some great information there. And just one more thing about the Make Water Work log on, and one of the reasons you should log on is there's an $8,000 Xeriscape landscaping package available for anybody who logs on. The draw will, I believe the draw is going to be June 30th. So log on and learn about how you water lasts, and help us preserve our water in our very dry desert area.
Thank you. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I think I'm going to take a pass. I feel like I've said enough today already. I was going to talk about the taxes that are due on July 2nd, but I can see you're just chomping at the bit to bring that forward, so I'll take a pass today.
Thank you. Councillor Campol.
I almost did the same, because it would seem that Councillor King and I have spent a lot of time together. We've got pretty mirrored reports. I too attended the staff luncheon last week, and it was certainly nice to see our town staff recognized for their hard work. And for me, it was interesting to learn how long some of these people have been here, and how amazing the retention is in the community. So that was pretty neat to see. I also attended the ceremony for the renaming of the provincial park to Osoyoos. Attended the Destination Osoyoos AGM and heard some encouraging big plans for 2015. Also appreciated being part of the joint council meeting with Oliver Osoyoos. And I think it's going to be a busy month for me, because I've already started receiving emails from the mayor of all the places I have to be this month. But again, I'd also like to encourage everybody, if they can get out this weekend, to the jalopies. Lots of new additions this year, a lot of stuff geared for the kids, so very family friendly this year. Fishing for hot rods, temporary tattoos, face painting, all sorts of fun. So hopefully we see a ton of people down there. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll try not to repeat what has already been said in my report, but one thing is June the 1st to June the 6th is Accessibility Week, and so we did a proclamation last week, and Mike Stiles was here, and at the same time Gary Carter arrived on his scooter to pay his taxes. So introduced the two of them, and they did give us some interesting outlook from somebody who is in a wheelchair. And one of the things that I found very interesting that Mike Stiles said was that he has a difficult time going to hotel rooms because the beds are all the pillow top mattresses, and that makes it quite a bit higher, and it makes it more difficult for people with mobility issues to get into. Interesting, because it had never occurred to me. Water concerns, of course, has been a main theme for today, and I don't see any rain out there yet. But I just wanted to say that the Osoyoos Lake Water Quality Society is having a meeting on Wednesday night, June the 3rd at 7 p.m. at the United Church. If you're interested in getting more involved in that, or just learning about some of the issues, please attend that one. The Resort Municipality Workshop that Mr. Romanko was talking about is going to be next week, and we look forward to learning a little bit more about what are the important issues in our town, because at this point we have got funding until the end of 2017. And the mayors of the 14 communities are going to, we've already been online discussing this, and we think that it's important to continue with this initiative, and I think that, that we'll be seeing some more information on that. Yesterday I was at the Air Cadets, the Royal Canadian Air Cadets 232 Bighorn Squadron. They've been in operation for 73 years at the Mr. McGuire was there too, taking pictures at the airport in Oliver, and it's a wonderful program. Unfortunately, there aren't any students from Osoyoos in that. I remember there used to be when Randy Kazian and his son lived down here, and Randy drove a bus and took them up there. So it's too bad, but it's a wonderful program, and the kids there did a terrific job. So I enjoyed going to that. I've been to that before. Don't forget to pay your taxes. When I was in here at the office last week, there were quite a few people who got their tax notice and came in to pay their taxes right away. You can leave a post-dated check. You can pay it, I believe, at the bank, but you need to make sure that you pay it so that you don't miss the deadline on July the 2nd. The joint council meeting that we had last week at Walnut Beach was this council, the Osoyoos Town Council and our CAO, and the Oliver Town Council and their CAO, and it was quite interesting to talk about some of the issues that we both share. And I think we will continue to see this, because what we need to do is work together and come up with good plans, and if somebody has a really good idea, let's share it and let's work together. I attended Derby nights the other night, and as a matter of fact, I picked the winner on both, so I won some money. But I gave some of it back too, lots of it. And I enjoyed being down at the Haynes Point renaming, which is Osoyoos, and I think that's perfect because it starts with the name Sioux, just like in Osoyoos. And it means Osoyoos. It did a long time ago, and as I said to Chief Louis, it's a lot easier to pronounce that than it is some of the long names for the other campgrounds up the valley. So I think it was a very interesting ceremony, and I think that anything that we can do to work together and make this a good place to live is the right way to go. So that's all that I had, and so I thank you all for paying attention for the last hour, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Okay, we'll go over here. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Campol, all in favor? Thank you very much.